Ladies and gentlemen, the leaks are getting absolutely crazy for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies, and even though the gameplay reveal trailer is going to be tomorrow, and we're definitely going to be getting a lot of information regarding BO6 Zombies, I still wanted to cover some of these leaks today just to discuss them just for now, and then obviously we'll get some confirmation tomorrow of which of these leaks are true, which are false, because a lot of these leaks could definitely be not true, or at the very least, they could be leftover code or something like that, because this is all stuff that's in the files. Most of this is not like rumors or anything like that. It's literally just stuff that is in the game files currently. Therefore, most of it is probably true. There's a variety of sources that are giving these leaks, but all of these sources are pretty reliable. So let's start off with this first leak regarding a save and quit feature in solo mode within Black Ops 6 Zombies. And this is absolutely huge. This is something I've been asking for personally for years, because I've always thought high rounding in Zombies is not that fun because it takes so long. And normally I don't want to leave my console on for that long amount of time while I'm high rounding. Like after maybe like around 40, 50, you've already been playing for like 4 to 5 hours. I just want to shut off my Xbox at that point. I don't want to have to leave it on, especially because if I want to play a different game or I want to play something else within the game itself, and I don't want to just keep that one match going, I just can't get past around 50 because it's just, I don't feel like leaving it on for that long. But with this save and quit feature, it sounds like at least in solo, you'll be able to leave a match and then return to it later. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to work specifically, like maybe there's going to be some limitations to it, or you could only do one match at a time, or maybe you have to return to it within the same session. Like, I don't really know how it works exactly, but all I know is that this sounds absolutely phenomenal and will actually make high rounding way more fun, at least for me. As someone who didn't really enjoy high rounding before, this will actually get me to do it. Now, I know a lot of high rounders are going to be really upset about this because I have heard from a lot of high rounders before that they would actually hate this feature. When I recommended this feature years ago, I got a lot of pushback from high rounders saying that this would ruin high round runs. And I can kind of understand it to a degree because high rounding is very weird in Zombies. It's not really as much about skill as it is more so about dedication and patience, which I guess is a type of skill, so I guess you could consider it skillful, but it's not like your typical Zombies skill. It's very different. You have to have a certain level of patience and just complete dedication to making sure you are training the zombies properly, making sure you're using the traps properly. And if you are able to just completely end the game and then return to it later, you can do a system where you're only playing like 20 to 30 minutes at a time and then returning to it like a day later. So you're not really dealing with that feeling of patience and dedication that most high rounders usually feel. And now because of this, it is going to be the easiest it's ever been to get to round 100, unless of course the game is very difficult by default, or at least somewhat difficult, because round 100, even in games where you can't leave the game and save it, even those games, it's been pretty easy, especially like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Cold War. It depends on the map, of course. It really does depend on the map, because some of those round 100s are really hard in Black Ops 3, but some of them not so hard. It just depends on the map. But then you go to Cold War, it's like very easy on pretty much every map to get to round 100. And I do feel like if you have a similar game like Cold War with BO6, if it's a similar level of difficulty, then it's going to be so easy to get to round 100 with this. So I really hope they do find a way to make those high rounds more difficult, and not in the ways that I feel like they're probably going to do, which I really despise this type of difficulty, which is just making the zombies faster. I think super sprinters kind of suck and they don't really make the flow of zombies work that well. Find other ways to make it harder. Find other ways to make those high rounds really difficult, but ultimately just do something there. So there still is a level of skill to getting around 100, and it's not something everyone can do with relative ease. But overall, I'm definitely happy about this because, like I said, this will make it so I'm going to have way more of a reason to want to go for those round 100 runs. And even just normally playing the game, like let's say you're just doing an Easter egg run and you're halfway through the Easter egg and you think to yourself, you know, I actually kind of want to play with my friends on another game right now because maybe your friends are playing some other game. Normally, you'd have to quit your game or you'd have to just continue it and not play with your friends. But now you can just quit it, save it, and then go back to it later. So I think this could be really cool and really useful for a lot of Zombies fans. This next leak, I don't really know how I feel about right now because it could be a great thing or it could also be a bad thing. It really just depends how they handle it, but it is kind of what I've wanted for a while. So this is the fact that round-based zombies is supposed to have two separate modes. There's going to be a standard mode and a guided mode. The standard mode has a description that says, continue the fight against the undead and search for clues to the truth of what lies ahead. And then the guided one has a description of complete story quests with guidance and a maximum round cap of 15. So I've made plenty of videos before talking about Easter eggs, and there's actually a big video I made where I talked about the downfall of Easter eggs in Call of Duty Zombies and the fact that ever since Cold War, the Easter eggs just haven't been that good. They've been too easy, they've been not complex enough, they've been way too simple, and I basically just want them to change that. And I've always said I do want casual fans to be able to complete Easter eggs, therefore they should do a separate mode where the Easter eggs are a bit easier and maybe even guided for the player. And that's kind of what this sounds like here. It says complete story quests with guidance. That to me sounds like an Easter egg. But my thing is I doubt that's going to be like the full Easter egg. It's probably just going to be a certain portion of it. And then in the standard mode, you're going to get the full Easter egg there. But I'm wondering, is there going to be a guide in the standard mode as well? Or is it just going to be in the guided mode? And why is there a round cap of 15 in the guided mode? To me, that doesn't make any sense because like 15, like even casuals can get past 15. It's not like you're stopping them from the hard parts of the game by capping them around 15. You might as well cap it at like at least 20. I mean, 15 is so early, but I'm not really sure how this is going to work in practice. Is the guided mode going to have the same Easter egg as the standard mode? So therefore, will it be spoiling certain clues and hints that the standard mode's going to have within its Easter egg? Like, I don't really know, so it's really hard for me to say much about this. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on this one. But it's definitely cool that they're at least trying to do separate modes. That's definitely a good thing. Or perhaps this guided mode is literally going to be as simple as just like a tutorial mode, which we've already seen before. So I don't really know, because when they say story quests, they have really weird words sometimes, Treyarch. Like sometimes they'll use the word quest when it doesn't actually mean like the main quest. For example, they use the words like main Easter eggs all the time for Modern Warfare Zombies, and we never really got an actual main Easter egg. We just got these story missions. So they use words sometimes differently than the community does sometimes, and that could be the case of what's happening here. I have no idea. Next, we have some leaks about Gobblegums. So there's a lot of information floating around about Gobblegums, and some of the most interesting things about Gobblegums is, first of all, the fact that you can now edit your Gobblegums in the match itself, the same way you can edit your field upgrade in Cold War. You know how in Cold War you can pretty much change your field upgrade whenever you want. You just select a new loadout and you'll get a new field upgrade. You can do that literally at any point in the game. Well, apparently, at least in what the rumors are saying, you can do that with Gobblegums too, which I kind of don't like that. Like now that I'm really thinking about it, at first I was like, oh, that'd be really useful, that'd be really cool. But that kind of just defeats the purpose of deciding 5 Gobblegums to bring into a match. And the leaks do also say that, yes, it's going to be just like Black Ops 3, where you get to choose 5 Gobblegums that you bring into the match. So it's literally the same thing as BO3. So why make it so you can just change it whenever you want? Because doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of choosing 5 Gobblegums in the first place? Because think about that. If you can literally just change between any Gobblegum pack that you can make a Gobblegum pack with literally every Gobblegum in the game. Well, I guess it depends how many Gobblegum packs they let you make. Perhaps there'll be like a cap on that. Maybe they'll only let you make 5 Gobblegum packs or something. But even if it's just 5 Gobblegum packs, that's still 25 different Gobblegums you can have all at once, and being able to just choose between any of those in the match. To me, that's just kind of, I don't know, it just defeats the purpose of choosing 5 Gobblegums. I mean, think about BO3. Imagine you can do that in BO3. Like, you would literally have the most OP setup possible, because you can pop Perkaholic and then change your thing and then get shopping free and then change it again. You can just keep getting all the OP ones little by little to the point where you've used all 25 OP Gobblegums. And I think that kind of just defeats the purpose of choosing a Gobblegum pack. And there's another leak about Gobblegums here, which they say they're not 100% sure about this, so this could definitely just not be true. But they say that the Gobblegum machine spits out 3 different Gobblegums, and then you choose which one you want to eat, which is kind of similar to the whole thing in Vanguard with the Covenants, where you can kind of choose between the different Covenants that pop up, and then you select them for yourself. And I don't see the point of this. Like, why not just make it simply like it was in BO3, where it just spits out 1 Gobblegum at a time, and you pop that 1 Gobblegum? Because popping out 3 at a time and you have 5 in your pack, that's you're like, it's, I don't know, it's just, what's the, like, again, it's just changing things just for the sake of it, and I don't really see the point of that. I think it takes away some of the balance that the Gobblegum system had. And also, I think this probably means we're going to get some sort of a menu system, and it could definitely not be a menu. Perhaps it'll just spit them 3 out and you just have to look at the one you want to pop. I don't know, but I feel like it's probably going to end up being some sort of in-game menu where you have to go up to it, hold X, and then you see the Gobblegums pop up in some in-game menu, and then you select them from there. And if you guys know me, you know I don't like in-game menus in zombies. I want them to get rid of them. I don't want to see a single in-game menu in this game because those are just immersion breaking and to me just don't fit the vibe that zombies has always had. The next leak isn't very specific. It's just about a new mechanic called Augments, and apparently there's an achievement for collecting 50 of them. There's something you can equip in your loadout, and I don't really know what to make of this, to be honest. It's just a new system for getting abilities separate from perks and Gobblegums, so that's totally fine by me. I kind of wish we had more like map specific abilities though, because I love stuff like that from like Black Ops 3 with the mask system. Stuff like that's really cool, but it seems like this is something that's just going to be on every map because it's something that apparently you can equip to your loadout as well. So yeah, I don't know, just another way to get abilities, I guess, which I feel like most of these probably could have just been worked into like perk upgrades at the end of the day, or maybe even just more Gobblegums, but I guess we don't really know what these augments are going to look like. We don't know what the abilities are going to be, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Next up, they are implementing a feature where apparently the doors around the map, you don't have to buy them straight out. You can also donate your points to them. So if you're playing with multiple players, you both can pay for the same door. Essentially, you just pay half and then the other player pays the other half, which they already had this in Infinite Warfare on Spaceland, but it was only for the first like couple doors on the map. There wasn't any other doors on the map, and then they never did that on any other map. So it was just this one little thing, and I don't think they're going to up the prices of the doors or anything on the maps. I just think like even if there's a door that's only 1,000 points, if you want to just donate 500 points to it, I think you're going to be able to do that, which is totally fine. I don't think that changes really too much in the game. I think it's just an extra little quality of life thing to just make it so if you have an annoying teammate who won't buy doors, at least you can maybe come to a compromise to just pay for half and then the other player pays for the other half. Next up, we have leaks for a lot of different things that are going to be in this game. We have ammo mods, kill streaks, boss zombies, and perks. And I'm just going to go through a list of a bunch of them within these different categories. Some of them are new things, some of them are returning. Let's just list them out. Again, some of this could be leftover code for sure. I have no idea. For ammo mods, we got Cryo Freeze, Napalm Burst, Dead Wire, and Shadow Rend. So obviously the first three there are ones we've already seen, but Shadow Rend is new, and apparently the description has something about spawning a rift that kills zombies. And I'm not gonna lie, that kind of sounds like it could be overpowered, especially if it works like any of the other black hole type weapons we've seen in zombies before, like the Apothecon Servant. I'm just imagining just every now and then with your bullets, a black hole just sucking in the zombies. That could definitely be quite overpowered, but it probably won't be like crazy overpowered. It'll probably be something a bit smaller considering it's an AAT, but regardless, ammo mods, I've expected those to return, obviously, and I'm glad they are. I just hope the way you get them is a bit different in this game. I don't want it to be just a simple go up to the pack-a-punch machine and then select it. I kind of want them to throw in a different way of getting them, or maybe just put them as wall buys. I think that'd be a little more immersive to buy them off the wall than it would be to just go up to the pack-a-punch and have some stupid in-game menu that I just don't want to see. So next up, we have a bunch of leaked kill streaks in the game. We have the Mangler Cannon, a Mutant Injection, ARCXD, Hellstorm, and Napalm Strike. So some of these I think we've already seen before, but some of these are definitely new. The Mangler Cannon is definitely new. That sounds pretty sick, just being able to hold the Mangler Cannon and shooting zombies. That sounds like it could be a wonder weapon in and of itself, but it seems like it's just going to be a kill streak. The Mutant Injection sounds interesting. I wonder if that's going to like turn you into some sort of special zombie. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I'm imagining something like the Beast Mode from Shadows of Evil, where you turn into that like Cthulhu creature. I think that'd be pretty cool if the Mutant Injection does something like that. It'll probably just give you like a damage boost or something. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy, but it would be awesome if it actually just turns you into like an actual zombie, because that would be insanely cool. And then obviously the ARCXD is just basically like an RCXD, and Hellstorm, Napalm. You all know what that is. I don't think I have to explain what those are. I do hope the way you obtain these kill streaks are a bit different than Cold War and Vanguard, but chances are it's probably going to be the exact same, where you just have to get salvage and then you purchase it with salvage. I just want them to do something a bit cooler with it, because I feel like there's so many better ideas, like doing quests or having to craft buildables or just something different in order to obtain kill streaks. But like I said, it's probably just going to be like Cold War, which at the end of the day, it's whatever. I just want to see a bit more depth than that. And next up, we got the boss zombies. So first of all, we got the amalgam zombie. I don't even know how to pronounce that properly, but if you look up this word, it just essentially means like a mixture of something. and I guess it could also be a dental tooth filling, but I don't think it has anything to do with teeth filling. So it probably has to do with the first definition, which is just basically a mixture of something. So it's probably going to be some sort of zombie that's like an amalgamation of a bunch of different creatures, which is exactly where the word amalgam comes from. So that could be interesting. I don't really know what that's going to mean in practice, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Then we have the Abomination returning from Cold War and Modern Warfare zombies, which I don't want to see too many boss zombies returning from Cold War. Like, I really don't. Unfortunately, we know it's going to happen. It's inevitable, but I don't want to see it. I like seeing some returning boss zombies here or there, but like all of them is just going to be ridiculous. We already saw them all return. Most of them return in Modern Warfare Zombies. I don't want to see them again, but we're going to see the Abomination again and the Manglers as well, which again, like, why do we need the Manglers in every single zombies mode? I don't understand. I don't get it. Their obsession with the Manglers. Give us something new. Even if it's just like a new version of a Mangler, just something, man. Just a Mangler again just doesn't sound interesting to me. Then we have the Parasites, which the word is just straight up parasites. Like, that's what's in the files apparently, but is it going to be the same parasites from Black Ops 3? I have no idea. I don't think so, to be honest. I doubt it's going to be just like those. It'll probably be something different. We did see in one of the clips that they showed us through the Truth Lies website, there was like a clip that looked like some sort of like arachnid zombie type thing. It almost looked like a spider from Zetsubo no Shima. Maybe that's going to be the parasite because it looked like it came out of a zombie. So instead of it being like a spider, is it just going to be some sort of parasite that's kind of like shaped like a spider? That's kind of my guess at this point. I don't think it's going to be an actual Zetsubo no Shima spider. I think it might be what the parasite is, where it goes inside of zombies and then pops out just like they did in that little teaser clip. Next up, we have the perks. So right now, this is the perk list. We have Juggernog, Quick Revive, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, PhD Flopper, Deadshot Daiquiri, Tombstone, Elemental Pop, and Melee Macchiato. So this is literally every perk that Cold War zombies had except for Death Perception and Mule Kick, and of course it's adding on the new Melee Macchiato perk, which we don't know too much about Melee Macchiato, other than the fact that it's going to be obviously a melee focused perk. Probably will give you increased melee damage of some sort, and we've already seen perks like that before, so it's not going to be anything too new. But I don't really see the point of not including Mule Kick and Death Perception. I mean, I get they don't want too many perks in the game right away, but I think it'd be kind of annoying for them to be like, oh my god, we're adding a new perk in the game and it's just Mule Kick. Like, you know what I mean? They did that in Cold War and it just always felt so underwhelming. Like, if we see new perks come in, I want it to be a new exciting perk to see. Now, if they do a thing where maybe these perks are the only ones on these maps and then they bring back Mule Kick, but it's only on other maps, I'd be okay with that because I do like the variety of having different perks on different maps, but we know how it's going to work. It's just going to be like Cold War. They're going to throw all the new perks on the old maps anyways, so why not just give us Mule Kick right now? I don't see the point of making us wait. But other than that, it's pretty standard perk selection. We have no idea if there's going to be perk upgrades at all. They haven't had any leaks about perk upgrades so far. So maybe they have scrapped that system. I have no idea. I hope it's an in-game perk upgrade system. I've said that before. I don't want to see the permanent out-of-game upgrades. Let's do it all in-game. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video are some of these leaked achievements for zombies, because I think some of these could be potentially teasing some stuff we're going to get on Liberty Falls and Terminus. I won't be talking about all of the leaked achievements because a lot of them just aren't important at all. They're just very simple things that don't tell us anything about the mode, but let's go over a couple of the ones that actually do tell us something interesting. So first of all, Culinary Delight. It's an achievement where in Terminus, you have to consume a fish cooked with a special ingredient. So that is interesting. That means we're going to get some sort of like fishing system on Terminus. And I really hope it's like a simple thing that's not really like, you don't have to do it for the map. It's not like something required for the Easter egg. I really hope it's just a simple thing where you just kind of have fishing rods around the map, or maybe there's only one fishing rod and you can use it to kind of fish for stuff. And maybe it costs points to fish, or maybe you have to physically fish it yourself. And if you guys don't remember, you actually could fish on Outbreak. You can also technically fish in Advanced Warfare. There's been fishing before in zombies, that's all I'm saying. But it seems like you're going to be able to fish, so I don't know if you'll be able to get points out of that, probably salvage, and then eventually maybe you can get a fish and you can, I guess, cook it with a special ingredient. I don't know what that would give you, I don't know what it would do for you, but this is interesting just to know that there's going to be some sort of mechanic in there involving fishing. Then we have Deadwood, which is in Liberty Falls, achieve a sporting high score. So this implies that Liberty Falls is going to have some sort of mini game involving high scores. And of course, when I hear the word high score, you know what I think of? an arcade. And I would be so thrilled if they bring back some sort of arcade system, just like what we saw in Spaceland, onto Liberty Falls. Of course, we do know that Liberty Falls is going to take place in a 90s town in West Virginia. So yeah, it could easily have an arcade. I'm sure most towns back in the 90s had an arcade somewhere. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I wasn't alive at the time, but I know, people always talk about the 80s and 90s having, a lot of arcades and such. So I think it'd be pretty cool if there's an area of Liberty Falls that has not only an arcade, but maybe some other stuff like, a roller skating rink, stuff like that just kind of fits the era. And if there's actual playable arcade machines, I will be so happy, because I was really excited to see an arcade return on Forsaken, because I love the arcade from Spaceland, but Forsaken's arcade was really depressing, to be honest. Like, it looked cool, don't get me wrong, but the actual games, they weren't even really arcade games. They were things that teleported you to other mini games, but they weren't actual arcade games. Like the Nocturne Toten one, like how does that have anything to do with an arcade game? You're gonna teleport me to Nocturne Toten for a minute? That's the most boring thing ever. One of them was also just a reskinned Outbreak objective. Like stuff like that's just not interesting to me. I want to be playing skee ball. I want to play, Rings of Saturn basketball. I want to play all those fun games from Spaceland, and hopefully they do something like that in Liberty Falls. But to be fair, it does say achieve a sporting high score, so maybe it's related to soccer in some sense. Maybe there's going to be a soccer field on the map. I think a soccer field would make sense in a town as well, and maybe you can just simply kick a soccer ball into a soccer net. I don't know. Regardless, there's some sort of mini game here, and I think that's pretty cool. And then the last two achievements appear to be achievements for the Easter eggs. So this confirms that there is going to be an Easter egg on both maps. I know a lot of people were speculating that Liberty Falls was going to be like a survival map and it was not going to have an Easter egg. Thankfully, that's not going to be true. So technically, these don't necessarily 1000% confirm that these are for the Easter egg, but if you've ever read an achievement before for any other prior Zombies Easter egg, you know that these are definitely related to the main Easter egg. So first of all, for Terminus, it's titled Treasure Hunter, and it's just simply in Terminus, find the final talisman. So whatever that means, we're going to be finding a talisman for the Easter egg. That sounds like an Easter egg to me. Cool. And then for Liberty Falls, it's called World Domination, and it says in Liberty Falls, tap into your supervillain side. And a lot of people are speculating, because of that description, does that mean we're going to be playing as the villains on Liberty Falls? A lot of people were saying that, oh no, it's going to be, the strike team, you're going to get sent in with the operators and there's going to be no set crew, but they have never said that there's going to be no set crew on this map. They haven't said that at all. How fucking cool would it be if we get to play as the villains, and that's the crew here? And one of the characters, of course, would be Edward Richtofen. That would be so damn sick, and I would absolutely love that, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I think that would be so awesome if we get to play as the villains. Like, to me, that's like the perfect way to start your game. One map where you're playing as the heroes, one map where you're playing as the villains. Like, that's just so cool. The idea of that could be really awesome. And then, of course, if you want to use your operators, you can use your operators. It's just a separate choice. I think that'd be pretty cool. And that is going to do it for all of the current Black Ops 6 Zombies leaks. There are so many more leaks coming out throughout the day. I'm sure there's going to be more that I didn't cover in this video. And of course, tomorrow we're going to get official confirmation about a lot of what we talked about today, as well as an actual gameplay trailer. So I cannot wait for all that. Hopefully you guys are excited. I will see you guys on my next one. Peace out.